Most of us believe this lie that if I just meet the right person, all this will change. We want people to feel us. We want them to know us, even if it's super scary for us. How much time do I actually have on this planet? It's like a whole skill set that you didn't even realize you needed. We've been so conditioned to think that money solves everything. But when you're a wealthy man and you can't find love, then you're faced with the stark reality that that's just not true. And what happens is, despite all of your success, everything that you've accumulated, the lifestyle, the cars, the nice restaurants, all of those things, at the end of the day, you go home alone. Or maybe you have someone fill your bed for a couple nights here and there. But that deep, dark loneliness never goes away. And it's the fear, right? The fear of, why are people really with me? Why are they choosing me? Why are they wanting to spend time with me? Why are they wanting to get into a relationship with me? Is it because of what I've created? Is it because of my success? And I think when you're faced with this reality, the wisest thing that you can do is start asking yourself the hard questions. Asking yourself, what is it that I want my legacy to be? I think when we look at our life and we go, how much time do I actually have on this planet? When we get so distracted with the busyness and what else needs to be done and what's the next achievement and what's the next trip and what's the next thing off the box, we don't have the foresight to realize that tomorrow's not promised to us. And we only have a small finite time here on this planet. So we have to ask ourselves, what am I doing today? And where is it getting me in terms of the grand scheme of things of what I want to leave behind? What is my legacy? What do I want to be known as? Do I want to be known as the guy who accumulated a lot of shit and was really successful and made some really fantastic deals happen, but was lonely and miserable and people never knew him? They felt disconnected from him. He felt disconnected. Even if you're not concerned about your legacy, it's how do you want to feel? If what you're feeling today, if you have to feel that for the next 20 or 40 years, is that something you're worth doing? And if not, then you have to make changes. At the end of the day, nothing in life changes by us doing the same things over and over and over again. I think most of us believe this lie that if I just meet the right person, all this will change. But the right person will never come to you if you keep doing what you're doing. Life is always a mirror to us. Life is always telling us what we are emulating from the inside out. And so what we're doing, we're going to continue to attract that. Yes, when you're rich and you can't find love, it's the constant distrust of why someone is with you. And here is another harsh truth, is you've invested all of your time to be successful. Chances are you've not invested any of your time in being successful in relationships. It's like a whole skill set that you didn't even realize you needed. But when you keep failing in relationships, or you feel like people are not just coming to you and accepting you for who you are, chances are you've got this whole skill set that you're missing out on, which is being able to communicate and show people the real you, of actually setting up opportunities for people to get to know the real you. And that in itself, connecting with people in a way that goes beyond the surface, that goes more intimate, where a person actually gets to know who you are, what makes your heart tick, what makes you excited, what scares the hell out of you. And having someone see all of that and not being willing to leave you. For some of you, you're like, that's impossible. That's not impossible. The reality is there's just a whole set of skills that you've never, ever developed. And essentially what we need is the tools to be able to facilitate real connections. Because at the end of the day, whether you're rich, whether you're not rich, we all we're human beings. I think we've gotten so displaced in thinking that life is so on the exterior. And as much as that sounds ludicrous, the reality is through our habits, we show that that is actually our truth. But at the core of a human being, if we really just sat down, maybe if you had like a bottle of wine and you loosened up, you would articulate a different story. And we as human beings, we want to be connected. We want people to feel us. We want them to know us, even if it's super scary for us. At the end of the day, us as human beings, we're wired to accept each other. We've actually been wired to resist one another. So if you want people to connect with you, which is that core need that we all have, and that's not happening, the reason why it's not happening, it's not because you're not meeting the right person, it's because you are the wrong person. And not saying that you're a bad person, I'm just saying you're not the person who has the skill set that can facilitate connection. And so you have to ask yourself, is this actually important to me? Do I actually want to live the life that I'm living for the next 20 or 40 years? And if that answer is no, then you have to ask yourself, if not today, when? When am I going to make the changes so that I can develop the skills to actually allow people in so that they accept the real me, not this person who's just built everything on the outside of me, but the person who's on the inside that I go home alone to every night. I want someone to be able to be there and have that companionship with that person, the real me, not the me that I show the world, the real me that when the windows are closed, when the drapes are closed, the real me behind the curtains, the real me behind the mask. And if that's you, then it's time that you start cultivating new skills to allow people in. So if that's you, go to my website. I've got coaching that will help you go from confused to confident in 45 days. There are different ways that you can get supported by me in getting these skills to connect. But the reality is you can't keep putting this off, because this requires you to up level in a way that is going to make your life more rewarding, more fulfilling. And most of the time, it's not as hard as you think. You just need someone to support you who has laser focus in this sort of skill set, which is connecting with people, which is what I do. So if that's you, go to my coaching on my website, aricaangelo.com. Listen, at the end of the day, money doesn't solve everything. The one thing that money doesn't solve is connection. Money provides you the tools to buy the tools to be able to connect. But if your focus has always been on achieving success, I promise you that you have this whole skill set that is completely underdeveloped in fostering real intimacy, real connection, and creating the vehicle for you to have real, genuine companionship that's authentic, that really wants you for the real you. So if this spoke to you, then I would love to talk to you about coaching to help you get those skill sets so that it makes your life so much easier and you can have that rewarding life that isn't just achievements, but it's actually being able to enjoy life with someone by your side.